Alright, so I just got done watching Fallout, and this is the new series from Prime Video, where this follows a video game adaptation show, where this is set in post-apocalyptic America, set during the war, and even with like a nuclear war that happens, and even people like forced to live in like bunkers, and even with vaults, and even like struggling to survive in the outside world. It was so many twists and turns as well. And so this will be my official review for the show, of spoilers, just to go over my thoughts and impressions, especially with the games and with our main characters, and just like so much more. And even throughout this sets up, even for the next season, and so much as well. And so if you're new here, then be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so it's on any future vids. But now let's just hop into it. And now, I got to admit myself that I never actually played the games, but even though experiencing the show for the first time as a viewer, and with this being a video game adaptation, like said, in a post-apocalyptic America, and like even for how like the show opens, it really draws you in. It really hooks you in of what you're about to experience, especially like in that like apocalyptic world, and like a post-apocalyptic, but even with the wasteland, and even like trying to survive and to complete these missions, especially with the pinboy that these people use on the wrists, is sort of very cool, especially with the vaults, with the bunkers, and you really get to learn the history behind these vaults, and it's sort of like a really cool, but there are also some twists and turns involved, and even with our main characters, especially with Lucy, and I really enjoyed her character, and even with the purpose of that, especially like she is out on a mission for when her father is taken, and that like she has to do everything that she can to bring him home. I gotta point out to Cooper, aka the Ghoul, and that was also part of the nuclear war that turned them into a radiation, to turn them into the Ghoul, and now turning it into a bounty hunter, which was very cool to explore as well. And even with the things that I did enjoy, it was a cool immersive experience, especially witnessing it for the first time. And even I enjoyed all the action and all the fight scenes that it delivers, especially being in like a wasteland with all these characters, and like it felt like just like the games, and like and even though like especially for the character Maximus, which I really enjoyed, and even with the chemistry between Maximus and Lucy on screen, like their chemistry, it's really good, and especially as it progresses throughout the rest of the show, and even where these characters come from, like they really take their time to really develop these characters, and I guess especially to set up them the main antagonist with stuff is to come, and even though like we get to learn the backstory behind these people, especially with Cooper, and where he comes from, and even though with the purpose of this series is that who started the nuclear war, and like who's like after them, and who they need to fight. Even though like I enjoy like some of the episodes that really get into the storytelling and with its execution, where they wanted to take this story, is that I feel like it's like not trying to copy everything from the games, but I really enjoyed its horror and stuff like that, but and even though like I enjoyed everything about it, and like even though that like I enjoyed all the crazy stuff that goes on, and trust me, that there are gonna be some crazy stuff that are definitely gonna creep you out, or even to gross you out as well. And like even though like it's being cool, like especially like with it being said, like being in like a wasteland, and like even with the surface world, and you people being like contained inside a vault, like trying to live their lives, and trying to be happy, and like, even though with this like a fun, happy setting, and even though with our main character Lucy, that like stumbles upon into the surface world, and like just to experience it for the first time, and you'll never know what like lands in your way, and like if you know, and there's some like bounty hunters like on a loose, it's like it's a really cool experience that you'll definitely have fun getting into, especially if you're fans of the games, I will definitely enjoy the show, especially for what it has to offer. Another thing that I want to point out here is that even with Cooper, aka the ghoul, like, in the show, especially with him like being in the wasteland, and plus even with the ghoul who was like a bounty hunter, and even with Cooper who I found to be really interesting, and that we see him as like this cool like television actor just like before the war, and I thought he looked really cool, like trying to be that person, and we see him doing all of these commercials. It really gets to go into his backstory, and just something that I found interesting. Even though with the stuff that I really truly enjoyed is really what happens in like the last couple of episodes. Like that's where everything unfolds, and that's where everything gets revealed. And even with our characters that are involved with like something of who they really are and who they are working for. I mean, and that's something that you'll definitely enjoy. And plus, it got me craving to even want more, especially for how the series ended, and like it led me with like so many questions as to what's next. And like, even though that the show is already renewed for a second season, and I think they're going to adapt more of the games, especially into this show. And like I just really liked how everything unfolded, especially near towards the finale, and like there's just some like good parts that I definitely want to watch, especially to prepare you for what's next. Even though like towards the end, it just like left me mind blown and like speechless, and like how it ends. It was just really cool. Even with all of the cool set pieces and all the locations that the show visits, especially with Lucy, as really good going on the missions here. I feel like they did a good job with the show, especially with like keeping it contained with the games, and like even with the ghoul, who I thought was a very cool character and a very cool bounty hunter, and what he has up his sleeve, and like even though that like there's some crazy stuff, and like it's really cool, and I just enjoyed everything that the show adapted, and like I feel like it was a cool enough experience for me as I sat there like enjoying the show. What like twists, and even for what some of the plot has to offer, and like even though with the characters in the vault, and like you know, and plus there's some like old like classy music that like plays every episode, because I feel like those like songs are like definitely olden times, and like that's something that there's something to enjoy upon, and like. And yeah, and that's what I really enjoy most about the show, and I hope it continues on. And so, for my final thoughts is, I really enjoyed Fallout. I definitely enjoyed the immersive experience about being in like a wasteland. I said like then during a post-apocalyptic event, especially after a war, and like even while the twists and turns it delivers, and it unfolds really good. It'll really lead you to what's next. And even with our main characters, and I'm just very excited for what's to come. And even though there's like a second season on the way, and I hope that like a Prime Video does something like really big, especially for what they're about to do, especially for how the show ended with its finale. And I'm just really craving to what's next as well. So I give it a recommend if you guys want to check this series out as well. And so that's going to be for this video. And just let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below, and what thoughts on Fallout if you've seen the show. And give me a rating to 1 out of 10. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe and turn on notifications about future videos. And also follow all my social medias, which are linked down below. And with that, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.